Good morning, everybody. So it's been, I think, almost 2 weeks since I did my last video, so I figured it was time to check in. So my festival that's happening on my property is coming up very soon. It's going to be the 22nd through the 25th of this month, so I've been in panic mode. I've been gathering all the things and buying stuff and working on it and organizing, and because I'm part of the planning and preparation committee for it. And my new 20-person camping tent just arrived last week, and we put it up and then make sure it's all there, and then we took it down. And right now we're having a polar vortex. Goddamn polar vortex. I hate them. It messes with everything. In fact, our plum trees and our pear trees were already blooming, and this freeze, which has come out of nowhere in the middle of March, like it's supposed to be full-on spring already, and no, winter decided it's not over, but our blooms on our trees are going to die, which means that we're going to have little to no harvest of plums and pears this year. And I finally figured out what the giant blooming tree is on the very back side of our property. When we first moved here, there was a tree that bloomed white flowers every spring. And I finally figured out that it is a Mexican plum, but it's never produced any fruit because there are no more of them around here. So I'm actually kind of hoping, as my other plum trees grow up bigger, that they might actually cross-pollinate. Very unlikely, considering it's all the way on the back side of the property, but there's a chance that the same bee may pollinate the two same flowers, because we do have 4 beehives here on the property. And I'm still going to PT, the pain and torture, and I feel like I'm getting more range of motion, assisted range of motion of my arm, but I still have virtually no muscle movement on the upper part of my arm from the elbow up to the shoulder, which is concerning me because when I had my last rotator cuff surgery, I was already having some mobility and a movement in the upper part of my arm by this time in my last recovery. So I'm concerned that there may be an issue. Why is it taking so long? I'm still going to the pain and torture, but I'm not really making progress with the upper part of my arm. So I'm concerned about that. And in exciting news, I recently found out that Flowstorm does not actually overlap with my event that is happening on the 22nd through the 25th. So I will be attending that again. It is the 29th through the 31st of March, and I will be volunteering again this year. This will be my 3rd Flowstorm. So, and it's kind of weird that I go to Flowstorm and that I'm part of the volunteer group. And the only reason why I am is because Flowstorm is held on a property owned by some other fellow burners 1 street over, which is 5 miles. Yes, we're in the country and 1 street over is 5 miles. And so we go over there almost every Friday for potluck, and that's where Flowstorm is held. But I don't do any flow art. I don't do any juggling. I don't do any fire spinning. I don't do any of the flow arts. But yet I seem to be heavily involved in it in one way or another. So, and I'm hoping to be able to get some of them to come over and do some fire spinning for the effigy burn. on my event on the 22nd. So and for those of you that are thinking, well, what is this event? How come you haven't mentioned the name yet? Well, that's never going to happen. Because this particular event is for a community that is very private. So I can't share the name of the event with you, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure that the attendees of my event would like to maintain their privacy. So I need to respect that. However, a lot of the stuff that I've been buying for my event that is coming up real soon, I also can use for Scorched Fur. So Scorched Fur is a merger between the furry fandom culture and the Burning Man culture. And it's merging those two cultures together. And so a lot of the stuff I've been buying, I can use for both events. And I also made all the arrangements for the porta potties. All that has been done. And this year, I've set it up in a way that I will never again have to deal with porta potty people showing up late and porta potty people showing up late to pick them up. And then also I've had problems where I order porta potties from a company and then they decide they're going to subcontract out that job to another company without even asking me or informing me, and I just find out at the last minute. So because of all the porta potty company nightmares, we are going a totally different route this year. And also last year, the porta potty company that we got porta potties from, that actually delivered them, then they tore up our road. So that was a whole nightmare that ended up having to be solved with a check and 2 dump truck loads of road base in order to be able to repair the road. And most of that road base is still in a pile. I have not gotten around to shoveling it out. It's kind of difficult since I've just been recovering from surgery, but Peter and Dan is helping with that. And also I have some volunteers showing up on the 18th to help set up for the event, for my event. And then they always stay late and help tear down for the event. So this event is definitely a labor of love because it takes a lot of work, months in advance, and a lot of work real close up to and after. And I've already spent well over $1,500 for this event, and I'll probably spend close to $2,000 for Scorched Fur, if not more. But the money I spend kind of goes to help make the next year for the same event bigger and better and more enjoyable. And I'm always looking for activities and things for people to do and making it more fun and enjoyable for them. And so yes, I spend lots of money on these 2 events, but Scorched Fur and the event coming up are my brainchild, and I am dedicated to making sure that they succeed and being able to maintain themselves indefinitely. And we brought in the rabbits last night because of the polar vortex. Have I ever mentioned that I hate cold? I hate the cold. It's horrible. And you know what's crazy? Is I live in Texas. And I'm actually from Maine, where it gets really fucking cold. In fact, I remember when I was a kid, we opened the door to the house and it was a wall of snow. And my dad and my brother had to put on the snowshoes and climb out the second story window in order to be able to shovel out the doorway all the way to the road. So it doesn't really get cold here compared to there. But I've been here in Texas for so long that I've become a huge ass wimp about the cold. It is horrible. I can't really stand it. But then again, I really can't stand the heat either. And in Texas, it gets really fucking hot. And what makes it worse is the type of job that I do. I do landscaping work. I do mowing work and hedge trimming and tree trimming and all that stuff. And so I have to go out and work in 100+ degree weather in the middle of the summer. And then in the wintertime, even though we have a lot less work, there's still some work. And so it inevitably is going to happen that I'm going to have to work in cold, cold ass weather. That is like 40 degrees. And I know you're going to say 40 degrees isn't cold, but it's cold to me. So that's the update. I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot of videos between now and the end of March because I have my event coming up, and then the very next week is Flowstorm, and so I have to volunteer for that, and I should hear back soon on confirming for my volunteer shifts for Flowstorm. Oh, and if you're into the flow arts and you would like to learn more about how to do other flow things, then I would suggest going to Flowstorm, because there are lots of classes and people that do presentations, and so kind of teach you how to do more flow art things. Like I said, I'm not a flow artist, so I'm not really familiar with all the terminology and all the things that people do, but I do enjoy the events and I do enjoy volunteering because it's held and done by my friends at the burner community down the road. And so being able to help them and being able to be a part of what they're doing makes me happy, because not only am I volunteering, but I'm also helping out some very good friends. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I have to go to the pain and torture today. I know that lady is going to torture me some more. I still think that physical therapy is basically glorified BDSM. I still feel like somehow those people get off on the fact that they're torturing us. They know they're helping us, but they know they're torturing us. And I feel like they enjoy it too much. All right. Y'all have a good day or night or whatever it is for you, because God only knows who's going to watch this and when they're going to watch it. Bye. Have a good day.